Hey guys, Paul Acevedo from Windows Central here with a video review of Spectra 8-bit Racing for Xbox One. It's also available on Windows 8, and I think it's coming to Windows 10 eventually. Spectra Racing is a chiptunes themed racer. It has 10 different songs from chiptune artist Chip Zell. For the most part, I think they're really good and catchy. You can also buy the soundtrack on its own. You play as a rocket-powered Game Boy flying along tracks in space. The game procedurally generates tracks based on these 10 songs. I don't know if the tracks actually have much to do with the songs, but at least they are different every time you play. Unlike most racing games, you don't have a lot of control over your craft. All you can do is steer left and right with the D-pad or stick or triggers. You have no acceleration or brake controls. This did start out as a mobile game after all. As you're racing along, you're trying to collect as many of the yellow cubes as possible in order to earn points. And you also want to avoid the barriers that dot the track. Running into a barrier bumps you around, and it can very likely throw you off the track. If you fall off the track, you fail and have to restart, which is really annoying. Tracks also have boost arrows, which cause your craft to go faster, and they also add to your score multiplier, temporarily. As long as you don't bump into anything and keep hitting boost arrows, you can get your score multiplier up really high, which makes a big difference in earning score. Since you're not actually racing against anybody else, and unfortunately there is no leaderboards, which is pretty annoying, your goal is just to survive and get as many points as you can. Like I said, surviving can be pretty tough because of the lack of borders and the lack of speed control. That's actually what I like least about the game, is that at any moment you can just die, which is quite different from other racing games, which might have a few spots where you can fall off the track, but they would just put you back on the track and let you continue. Besides completing all of the 10 tracks, which will take several tries due to the difficulty, you can also unlock hardcore versions of each track, which basically just up the difficulty to impossible and completely unfun levels. Wonderful. And that's all there is to the game. There's no campaign or anything like that. You can try to improve your score and you can try to go for some of the achievements. Other than the difficulty, the worst thing about Spectra is the lack of variety. Quite simply, all of the tracks look exactly the same. It doesn't ever change color, theme, or anything like that. There's no variety to track obstacles. So even though the tracks are procedurally generated, they might as well not be. And in fact, if they were hand-designed, they might be more interesting and fun to play. At the very least, the game's visuals should change color for the different songs. At least then you'd feel like you were playing an actual different track instead of just the same track with a different song playing along. And when you actually complete a track, it's not like you even cross a finish line. You just play, the music stops, the track itself visually just keeps on going, so it just doesn't feel like you're racing in a real location, which is a shame. I really wanted to like Spectra. I'm a big fan of chiptunes music, and I definitely enjoy the soundtrack, but I think I'd rather just buy the soundtrack on its own. This game is too hard for its own good. It's not impossibly hard or anything, but it's stressful and not really fun. I just don't like not having enough control of my craft like you do in this game. And it's very repetitive. You know, it is an affordable game, but there's so much they could do to make the game more fun and less boring to look at and play. Still, I've met other people who do enjoy Spectra, so your experience might be different than mine. But if you're looking for an affordable racing game for Xbox One, I would recommend Beach Buggy Racing or Riptide GP2 instead. Thanks for watching. Read our full review at windowscentral.com. Follow me on Twitter and Twitch. And don't hate, appreciate.